Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing real good, and thank you for being on the show this evening.
You're welcome. Glad to be.
All right, Haley, let's go ahead and get started. Talk a little bit about yourself and how did you got started in professional wrestling.
Well, I started balleting and I was with ballet for about a year. And then 6 months ago, I started.
Could
I
you
made rest.
could you repeat that? You was breaking up a little bit.
Yeah. I was a valet for about a year. And then after that, I started training, and I've been wrestling for about 6 months now.
All right. Do you remember the first match you ever had?
I did actually. It was against Brittany Black at the NWA Battle Zone in McGee, Mississippi.
And what are some of the wrestling companies that you work for?
I worked for the NWA Battle Zone. I worked for Last Rights Championship Wrestling. I worked for Mississippi Proving Ground. And I will be making my debut for Magnificent Lady Wrestling here soon in Memphis.
Oh, I definitely heard that you was going to be a part of Magnificent Ladies Wrestling, which is a custom women wrestling website. How do you feel about being part of that? You know, that whole field that is custom wrestling when fans get to book matches and who faces who. What's your take on being for a company like that?
I'm actually pretty excited about it. I've never done anything like that before. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of matches the fans put me in. I think it'll be a great experience for my career.
And then you just mentioned what month you're going to be available for them.
Last I talked to them, I think next month in October.
All right, so everybody be on the lookout for Haley West making her Magnificent Ladies wrestling debut in October. They announced the list of ladies in the coming weeks or so. But you can book a match for Haley West to face on any of the following ladies. Should be a good one. Let me ask you this, Haley. When it comes to the character, do you like being the baby face or do you like being the heel?
I prefer being the heel.
All right.
It goes with my personality more.
I get the feeling that a lot of people that I talk to, they're more comfortable being the heel. Just to show a little bit more than being the baby face, being cheered on and stuff.
Right. Exactly.
And considering that you like being the heel, have you ever had any confrontations with fans? Have fans said things that may have gone too far?
No, I don't think so. I have had fans wanting to come over the guardrails before after me though, so it was pretty intense.
Well, I guess it takes a lot of guts and courage for them to say that, but you're a wrestler. They just fans, and they better keep that cool. They better keep that cool. You know, I mean, if you're gonna bull, bull, but wrestlers they do pay attention, and they will let you know about it. I mean, it's no doubt about it. You mentioned you're gonna be making a debut in an upcoming show. What are some other wrestling shows you have coming up?
I mainly work out of the NWA Battle Zone in McGee, Mississippi. It's not even an hour from where I live, so I make regular showings up there. They run weekly.
And who has been name some of the wrestlers that you have had the chance to work with thus far?
I've worked with Angelina Rush. I have worked with Jazz a few times. I've never worked against her, but I've worked with her. I've worked with Tiffany Black, Brittany Williamson, and Brittany Black.
And who are some wrestlers that you haven't had a chance to work with but would like to work with someday?
I think I would like to really work with Mackenzie York. I've seen a lot of her stuff, and she's an awesome worker. And I'd just like to get in there and work with her a bit, whether it's against her or tagging with her.
And what are some other goals you like to set for yourself? Do you see yourself doing more shows, traveling, or maybe even consider being in the big leagues such as a WWE or TNA someday?
I think every wrestler dreams of being at the big top, and I think that everyone potentially has the potential to go. But as for myself, I would just like to travel more, and then if I make it to the big tops, I make it. My goal is to travel, though.
And as a fan, not just a wrestler, but as a fan, what is your take on the WWEs and the TNAs and the Ring of Honors or any other companies that's on television?
I mean, I enjoy watching it. It's good to see what's going on in other places and other companies and seeing how they promote their wrestlers.
For those who just tuning in, I'm joined with Haley West right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. And you are from the Mississippi area, and I was born in Mississippi. I was born in Tupelo, actually, home of Elvis, God rest his soul.
Yes.
I mean, what's your take on the wrestling scene down there in Mississippi, considering that's mainly where you work at?
I think the indie scene down here, we're making our way up. For a while, a lot of people said that, we were nothing but backyarders, and there are a few backyard promotions here, but they're dying down. I think just the indie promotions down here, they're finally getting their cuts, and they're finally getting their push. So you'll see a lot more out of Mississippi coming soon, I guarantee it.
And you said one main word, and that was push, and that's something that more than others will like to get a push. Do you get the feeling that when you are in these shows out there wrestling, do you feel like you're getting a big enough of a push to get yourself out there, or you feel like you're being held back? I mean, how do you feel about, that word particular push as far as yourself and other wrestlers?
Luckily, the promotions I work for, they push everyone about the same. We really push the women because there's very few women in this southern Mississippi area that work and that can work. So in the promotions that I'm in and the other girls are in that I usually work with, we get a pretty good push. So I'm pretty happy with what's going on right now.
And considering you've been wrestling for about 6 months or so, do you ever get a chance to watch replays of your matches, like if it's on YouTube or the DVD or whatever? And if you do, I mean, how do you critique yourself? Do you look at it as, oh, I did this right, or this something I could have done a little bit more?
I do. I critique myself all the time. I'm probably my biggest critic. And I watch my ring appearance, and I watch my ring area and my entrance. I critique everything that I do after every match.
If you can have that dream match against any wrestler, whether it's indie or professionally, dead or alive, what would your dream match be, and who would your opponent be?
I would love to just have just a general match with Beth Phoenix. She's probably my biggest role model. Her and Mickey James and Natalia. Of those three, I would probably choose Beth Phoenix, though.
Without a doubt, three of the top caliber female wrestlers out here, Mickey, Beth, and Natalia. You got the Knockouts division. is one of the most see segments of Impact. Where on the WWE side, you have the talents of Beth, you have the talents of Natalia, but they don't get that big of a push. What's your take on how WWE handle its female talent compared to Impact's how they handle their female talent?
I think WWE would it be better if they gave their females better storylines. As far as their push, though, I think they should work with them more and let them do more.
That's definitely the main thing, storyline wise. It's like, and not only that, but get them more in ring time as well, especially Beth and Natalia. It just
I would
seems,
like to see that.
yeah, it just seems like WWE just gives the Divas a back seat, where the Impact they give their knockouts the floor and they give them a good amount of time to put a good match or segment together. Um, but with the signing of one Cell their way, maybe things were turned for the better. I don't want to get my hopes up, but it's just a matter of wait and see on the WWE side. Um, what is your advice, Haley, to anyone out there that wants to pursue their career as a wrestler? What would your advice be?
Never give up. It's hard work. You'll get hurt. You'll have bruises. You'll be swollen. But once you get out there and you do something that you want to do and that you love doing, everything's worth it. It's hard work, but the feeling of the crowd either booing you, knowing that you're being a good heel, or cheering you because you're being a good babyface makes everything worth it.
You know, like you said, it's wrestling could definitely be a physical sport. How do you deal with the bumps and the bruises? And have you ever suffered any serious injuries?
I actually have had injuries to my knees several times from girls stomping on my knees during a match, but nothing too bad. And as for the bumps, I train twice a week, so the bumps really don't get to me much anymore. And the bruises will come whether you're ready for them or not. Something can go wrong, and somebody ends up with a bloody nose or broken fingers, but it all comes with territory.
When it comes to getting into the ring and perform, do you ever get nervous before you make your way to the ring?
Every time. I feel like that whenever you are stop being nervous and you don't care about it anymore, then you need to get out of the business. Being nervous shows that you love what you're doing and you're excited and you don't want to mess up. So I'm always nervous.
You know, I definitely like that look to it. I mean, wrestling is something that you should not take lightly. So if you do show some sign of nervous, it pretty much shows that you want to make this match right, or you want to make this segment right. You don't want to screw up. You don't just represent yourself. You represent a company. And fans, you know how fans can get. People want to nitpick on what they see and what they didn't see. I mean, what's your take on when you hear from fans when they say, oh, he or she didn't do this right, or they didn't do that right? What's your take on that?
I just think it's funny how they try to critique you whenever you're the one out there doing it and they're just watching. So if they can pick it out that it's something wrong, then you're obviously not doing your job well enough to cover it up. But there are some times where there are smart marks that do know what's going on anyway, and they just read into it. But I don't think it's a big deal if they notice something like that. You're out there doing what you want to do and what you think the crowd and the other people that don't know what's going on want you to do. So it's just all personal opinions.
Opinions are like a-holes, I guess. That's what they say.
Exactly.
uh, so again, I'm joined with Haley West right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. why don't you go ahead and promote some links on how fans, good fans, I'm assuming you won't, not assuming but knowing, uh, go ahead and promote your links, Facebook, Twitter, or any other links people need to know.
You can find me on Facebook. I'm under Haley Harris, actually. I don't know the exact link, but I can post it on your Facebook wall so people can find me. And also, you should look for me on Magnificent Lady Wrestling's website. I'll be on there soon.
Absolutely, everybody be on the lookout for Haley West, making her magnificentladieswrestling.com. That is their new website as of several days ago. They don't go by the three letters anymore. So that's a lot to say, Magnificent Ladies Wrestling, but but that is something that they have to go with. So that is their website, magnificentladieswrestling.com. They are a huge supporter of this show. They always post the interviews of their wrestlers on their websites. So if you take a look at some of the wrestlers, you see the players or whatever, chances are you hear my voice and I'm talking to the wrestlers. I just want to point that out in case if you've been browsing the list of wrestlers. Before I let you go, Haley, I ask all guests to do this. It's like a station ID. It's like a voice drop. All you have to do is say your name, and right after you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Okay.
And go right ahead.
Okay. This is Haley Harris, and you're listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Awesome. I gotta say, Haley, great talking to you. Great to chat with a Mississippian out there doing your thing. And I live in Kentucky now, but I feel like I'm always a Mississippian at heart. I'll never forget where I came from. That's something I'll never forget where I came from. But I wish you the best. I wish your companies the best. Thank you for your time. And do you have any final words and shout outs?
No, just keep going, follow your dreams. You'll get there.
Well said. And again, thank you for your time. You have a good night.
All right, thank you. You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Indy Pro wrestler Haley West.